Hi there. The word that's been on my lip this week is bureaucratic. If you are plugged into the health and social care world in the UK, you will have seen this word crop up time and time again. It was on the word coming out of the Prime Minister's lips this week when talking about NHS England. What is bureaucratic? What do we mean by it? Well, actually, because I'm really interested in history and political theory, it's a form of government first and foremost, where unelected officials do a lot of the work. Sometimes you get this in monarchies. You think famously about some of the kind of Chinese dynasties and parts of the Roman Empire. It is one of those words, however, that's also become a bit of a pejorative. My general rule of thumb is that if you have to refer to pejoratives in your argument probably isn't as strong as you could be. It's kind of not dissimilar from argument weak, shout here. And often when we use it in a pejorative sense, we're talking about, it's the red tape we've got to cut. It's talking about the things that are holding us back from doing what we want to do. And there is sometimes used by people who don't really understand what those regulations are there for in the first place. And at its worst, it's used by people who class themselves as innovators but can't innovate within a regulatory system. And one would question, if you are not very good at innovating within a regulatory system, are you really very good at innovating at all? So what good is bureaucracy? Well, and caveat, some people would call me a bureaucrat. I work in data protection, I work in doing all those things that help protect people's rights and freedoms, keep people safe. So, if you want to discard what I'm going to say on that basis, that's entirely your choice. But what good is it? Well, I would point to Alexander the Great. Arguably one of history's greatest individuals. Fascinating, interesting, and he achieved an incredible amount in his lifetime and died in his early 30s, 33 thereabouts. So him and Jesus, good pals there. But after his death, after conquering one of the largest empires in the world, it all just fell apart. Leadership alone doesn't secure a legacy. The empires that have stood the test of time and endured for centuries and millennia are the ones that had strong bureaucracies, had administrations that were bigger than a single person. And that's the really key bit, is that when we're building these sort of frameworks, we're building things that survive us. And if you look at NHS England and what they've had to do in the last 10 years, well, in the last 5 years we've had 5 different prime ministers, 5 different governments. Would a government department have endured in quite the same way? I'm not entirely sure. Will the Department of Health and Social Care really fare any better than NHS England? Again, if you've read any of Ian Dunt's work, how Westminster works and why it doesn't, and his views on the functioning of the civil service, you might be a bit sceptical. My point is this: can bureaucracy go a little bit OTT? Sure it can. And again, you need within a bureaucracy ways to measure and protect it from itself. And that is, I think, where the roles of elected individuals come in. But it also is strength from its independence, and hopefully from its competence. It provides a safeguard against the ravages of time, and it prevents things going and falling apart when it's gone. So do I have a final thought, a witty way to sign off this video? No, not really. So I'm just going to leave you with some beautiful pictures of North Oxfordshire, which is marvellous behind me, and I hope you have a really good day.